Washington. The disappearance of dossier containing highly classified information on Russian election interference at the end of Donald Trump's presidency has raised alarm among intelligence officials that some the United States and its allies' most closely guarded national security secrets could be exposed. Sources familiar with the matter told CNN his previously unreported disappearance was so alarming that intelligence officials briefed Senate Intelligence Committee leaders last year on the missing materials and government efforts to retrieve them. The sources said, in the more than 2 years since Trump left office, the missing intelligence does not appear to have been found. The dossier contained raw intelligence its NATO allies had collected on Russians and Russian agents, including sources methods that informed the U.S. government's assessment that Russian President Vladimir Putin was trying to help Trump win 2016 election. Sources told CNN, the intelligence was so sensitive that lawmakers and congressional aides with top-secret security clearances could only review the material at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, where the studies examining it were themselves kept in a locked safe. CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. The file was last seen at the White House during Trump's final days in office. The former president had ordered her brought there so he could declassify a set of documents related to the FBI's Russia investigation. The dossier, under the supervision of then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, was reviewed by Republican aides who worked to redact the most sensitive information so it could be declassified and made public. Russian intelligence was just a small portion collection of documents in dossier, described as 10 inches thick and containing tons information about FBI's Crossfire Whirlwind investigation into 2016 Trump campaign and Russia. But raw intelligence on Russia was among most sensitive classified materials, and senior Trump administration officials repeatedly tried to block former president from releasing documents. A day before leaving office, Trump issued an order declassifying most the dossier's contents, setting off a flurry of activity in the final 48 hours his presidency. Multiple copies of the redacted dossier were created at the White House and planned to be distributed throughout Washington to congressional Republicans and right-wing journalists. Instead, the originally sent copies were wildly withdrawn after White House lawyers requested additional redactions. Just minutes before Joe Biden's inauguration, Meadows rushed to the Justice Department to hand-deliver a redacted copy for final review. Years later, the Justice Department has yet to release all the documents despite Trump's order to declassify them. Additional copies with varying levels of redactions arrived at the National Archives. But an unredacted version of dossier containing classified raw intelligence went missing in chaos.